1, 2, 3, press. 1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6,
7,
8,
9.
10.
Yizzo!
Oh, hey.
Oh, hi. Hey, Queen. How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay. I can hardly hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Turn me up
that's
in your
correct.
headphones.
Oh, man. Whatever. All
Child.
the tests we just did, baby. We better have it right this week.
Difficulty. This is very difficult.
We're gonna work it out, y'all. We're still working it out on our new platform, so be patient with us.
How are you doing, Internet? How's your soul? How's your heart? How's your
Oh,
body?
it's as if she's flirting with me again. Honestly, I have feelings of sadness coming on, but I'm also premenstrual, so
You
hopefully
should be
it's
getting
just
to
that.
it,
I'm
boy.
hopeful. But the sun is going down earlier, and I'm just starting to realize that winter is coming. I'm just trying to set myself up in the best way to prepare for that and to not isolate.
Mm.
And I just don't know how that's going to work. I'm fighting with my landlord. It's just a whole thing.
The winter is coming.
Winter is coming. It's not here yet. I also am in denial. I have not changed any of my clothes. The bat, the suitcase that I have from Kayla's wedding,
Mm-hmm.
it is still right the fuck there, full of clothes.
From the wedding?
Yes, from me being home in August. So when I came back and got COVID, I just never touched it. And then when I was able to leave the house, I was like, I'm not staying in here on the weekend to do this. And so I just keep staring at it and everything just keeps piling up. What I did do though, actually I'm lying. I'm lying. What I did do, I did wash them. I washed them and then threw them right back in the suitcase because I thought I'm going to have to transfer these out anyway. So why hang them up? They're going to have to be put away and then the other clothes are going to have to come out. So I need to do that because as you can see, I'm back in no clothes and back in like my moo So we're going to work this out. But a good thing, a really great thing that happened.
Say it.
I was so super grateful. And it felt like, was that last week? I think it was. Was it? Yeah. It felt like a perfect New York kind of night, but also interaction. So I had posted on my Instagram when I saw that the Fugees were having their reunion tour. I was like, oh my dear God, like let me secure a ticket. And Renee blew it with her kind soul, said to me, oh my God, I have a prior engagement, so I can't go. Do you want my ticket?
Wow.
Of course, yes. So it was for the very next day. And then I realized when I got the email that evening that it was 2 tickets. So I went with a friend. And it was, well, I guess a friend. It was like our first time hanging out. And I'm just trying to, again, I'm trying to prepare myself for this winter and not isolate. So I'm actively pursuing, relationships with people that I think are dope and just putting energy into them because I deserve that. And so we had a great time. Lauren is such an icon. It's just one of those things. It's really difficult to describe, and I often say it's a self-possessed woman. And she came out on stage and she just was such a diva too. Like this man, obviously there was some sound issue that it wasn't bothering her, and she like fleed him, like, go get the fuck out of my face. Like, I'm in front of the stage, what are you doing? And she just like could not be bothered with this person. But they had a huge band, a huge horn section. What did you say?
Were they late? Because you didn't complain anything about them being late, but then I read somewhere that they were late.
They were late. It said that they were gonna come on at 7, but you have to go in with the listen.
Yeah.
Low expectations, high vibrations.
Listen.
So they had a dope DJ Reborn, who I actually know. from Santana and Jade's events. And so she was out there. She's on tour with Lauren, Miss Hill, excuse me. And she was wonderful. Like we were grooving. And then when the band hit, I mean, this horn section is unreal. It's a, I can't,
They have
there
bangers.
might have been about 10 horn players out there, two of which were my babies from my old program. And I
Wow.
almost, I'm about to cry now thinking about it because I just saw them and this one little boy who I think I can't remember what school he went to, but I think it was Dillard. I think it was Dillard High School. And he was just so stoic.
Mm,
He just had no space for joy.
mm,
Even he won all the awards. He was so talented, but he never showed any joy on his face. And I remember telling him one day, like, you can smile. You have the right to smile and to celebrate yourself. He was like, what do you mean? And I was like, exactly what I said. I was like, you are amazing. You have every right to like know that and feel everybody telling you that. He was like, oh, okay, you're right. Okay. Thank you, Miss Henry. Thank you, Miss Henry. And then to see him on stage,
is he cheesing and geeking?
he wasn't.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't. He was
Expecting
he
it.
was focused. He was at work. But yeah, he's forging his own path. I'm sure that he had all these schools trying to get him to come with scholarships, but studying art in college can be like a real trap. So you just need to go and do your due. So that just made me super happy. And then
How
to
did they
see
look? How did Wyclef look?
beautiful Wyclef, of course, was out there with the Haitian flag on his head. He was
Mm,
repping Haiti.
mm-hmm.
Wyclef looked healthy. He was really
Healthy.
energetic. He
Okay.
was really he was the spearheading the show, very much so. He was the person that was,
Continue.
and he was energetically guiding where it was going to go.
Mm,
They came out, which shocked me, to Zealots, and I was like, oh, okay, but
mm,
it was still like hype. And they might have done only about 6 or 7 songs. Completely worth it. Complete. I would have stood out there all day for it. And Lauren Wyclef was trying to get Miss Hill to do
the fact
a
that you keep calling
freestyle
him
because
Mr.
I'm scared of her. Like I'm scared of
Put
her.
some respect on a
For real, I really am. Like
name.
after seeing her, I'm like, you know what? If she wants to be called Miss Hill,
I
then that
know
is
that's
what she will
right.
be called.
Yeah.
Because my irreverent ass would be like, the homegirl was, but he
What
tried
did
to
you
get her
say?
to the homegirl, the
Irreverent?
homie,
You've been
irreverent.
using this word a lot. I'm really proud of you. It's consistent, it's in context, and you're saying it enough now that it's now going to be in my
Vocabulary.
vocabulary because I've
Ooh.
heard it enough. Okay? So you
When did I
gotta
say
teach it
that?
out. A lots of times you've been saying it.
Wow.
So now you hear it enough. I'm like irreverent. Okay, I'm gonna try to use this soon
You're
since I.
not, well, yes, you are irreverent. You can be
Mhm,
at times.
mhm.
But he was trying to get her to freestyle. And instead she kind of was like, no, I don't feel like that. Um, and she told
Oh
this
no, I'm so
story.
sorry. I'm so sorry. It's just still blinking. It's still blinking. I'm so sorry. It's blinking. I must have hit it twice. It's okay. It's all right. Here we go. One more
Oh
time.
my God, I don't want to redo that. So let's write down where we are. And this is where the new audio will come in because let's not try to remake fake moments. The new audio will come in at 9 minutes for me and 1 minute for you or whatever. I'll work it out. Okay.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
use the audio from here. Anyway, so Lauren she told a story and put everything into perspective. And she said, you guys got to realize, like, I met Praz when I was 12. Like, we were on the road touring the world when I was 17, 18. And to think that she was writing this stuff at 17, 18, 16, even, because it takes a while for a record to come out. It's just wild. And
Yeah, it's
so,
magic.
yeah, it felt amazing to be there and to see them and her energy. She made a joke and was like, I met Praz and then he introduced me to his knucklehead cousin, and it just felt like healing. It felt like
Mm-hmm.
she was healed from what had
They
happened.
done been through it, child.
Yeah. And it looked like a family, you know? Also, your video is out. Try to come back in when you can.
This.
Press the button again and come back in.
Oh, the ghetto.
Says you have internet issues. Oh, and then lastly, my last update is that I don't remember what it's called, Thames, Teams, something, but it's basically where if you're in Bed-Stuy, if you know Brooklyn, Tompkins and Bed-Stuy, that whole street, that entire street is basically filled with Black-owned businesses, and so they shut down the block, and they basically have like a huge block party. And I went out there with Jade and Crystal and a couple of our friends, and I was telling them about my bootcut theory because so many people are sending me DMs of bootcut jeans, and I'm cracking. It's cracking me up. Like, the amount of pictures of bootcut jeans I have is ridiculous. And I tested that theory out, and it's accurate. The human that I went to the Fugees concert with, who's just a friend, but a quality human being, his jeans were not, I don't know if they were boot cut.
They aren't, those weren't.
They're straight leg.
Yeah.
It's a straight leg.
Boot cut is like, it's like a masculine.
It goes over the
bottom.
boot. Yeah, but it's not a bell bottom because it doesn't go in at the knee. It just goes straight down.
It's a masculine.
And listen, every man out there that had, and there were a couple boot cuts that had on ill-fitting jeans or straight leg jeans where they weren't trying to be too cool. They weren't purposely high waters. You know, those types too. Got to watch them. They're not safe either. Every single one was out there holding their baby, holding their lady's hand, dancing with their kids to the music. I said, see what and they were cracking up. And I said, listen, and even Crystal is very much a lesbian. And she's like, I'm not a lesbian because I'm not attracted to men. I'm a lesbian because men are men. She said, so if I find me a good bootcut jean man, y'all fuck around. Y'all go see me out here with him. And if I can find Crystal the man for her, I swear to God, it will. That would be amazing. And people would flip out because Crystal does not play. She is not here for these men at all. But she is attracted to some of them. So shout out to me. Ladies, continue to look for these bootcut jeans or straight leg jeans. Make sure, though, they are not purposely high watered. Make sure the socks are... I'm not mad
at the purposely high watered. Some of them,
too cool.
That's their religious. It's a
too
religious
cool
style.
You know, it's like a Jonathan Majors vibe. Jonathan Majors is wrecking hearts. And probably...
White women's hearts, though.
White women's hearts.
And white women's hearts, child.
Sometimes you gotta get wrecked. Sometimes you gotta get broke.
For a wrecked vagina, you know? You just gotta.
And sometimes it's worth it. How else will you
it's math.
Overcome?
It's divine mathematics.
Is it? That's a little too far. What are your updates? What are your updates?
I have been logged off of Instagram for all of this week.
I've been tagging you in so many posts, so that makes me feel better because I thought you were just ignoring me.
No, I disabled my personal one, so apparently you're not able. I didn't think I could be tagged, but whatever. I was this close to deleting it, but I can't remember my password. Or whenever I try to delete it, my Instagram's like, oh, we're having problems, so sorry, can't do it. Try again next time. So shout out to the conspiracy of Instagram. But I've just realized, one, how often, when you travel abroad and you realize if you don't have internet access, how often you reach for your phone and you're like, oh, but I can't use it. So it's like a slow...
Wait, why can't you reach for your phone when you're abroad?
When you reach for your phone to go on Instagram, You know what I mean?
No, what kind of service do you have that you can't access?
When I went to Cuba, you don't have the internet.
Oh, Cuba, like, yes.
Going to Cuba,
okay.
There's no internet. And you're often just like, it's shoddy internet. But I felt it the most when I went to Cuba, and I just realized every time I would go and I feel that trigger to go.
Any break in activity, and it's like, oh, let me pick up my phone.
Exactly. So even when I turn off my car, my inclination is head down, go do a nice little 10-minute scroll or something like that. That's not happening. I wake up in the morning and I'm like getting ready for the day. I'm not like on my phone. And it feels I just feel like I'm getting things done more quickly, number one, and not going through this loop. But I keep refreshing my email. That's my addiction now. It's like ding, ding.
Let
ding,
me write you an email then.
Erasing the ads. Ding, erasing the ads. So I'm trying to get a fix somewhere. But yeah, it feels really good. And it's been really I've been like having this conflict. I don't care so much about my personal one, but it's like, Sable, Around the Way Curls has more engagement than Sable has at this time. But like Sable, I don't know if it's shadow ban. I don't know what's going on. But I'm like, listen, when I come back with some fire, I'll come back. But I haven't even been posting on Sable like that.
You think Sable is shadow banned?
I don't know what it is, but for the amount of followers that we have and the amount of interaction, they want me to make reels, and I don't have time for that. I don't have time for the reels. So the photos that I post get like 30 likes. It's like that doesn't, if even less, 18 likes. I'm like, this doesn't make sense that nobody's seeing. But anyway, fuck it.
They could be trying to get you to buy boosted media.
I do have them going already. And it's I don't know what it is, but it's okay. I'm going to trust the angel Michaela when she said, like, you'll be back. When you're back, you've got something to say. So if I have some nice content or something, I will be back on Sable to promote this trip to Atlanta.
When are you going again?
I'm going to be driving down the 7th to the 11th. And we're going to be doing a pop-up at Lock Mama's in Decatur. I made that word up. It might be Decatur. Not sure. But Decatur, Atlanta, if that rings bells.
I feel like Decatur is definitely
a place. Thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's close to the downtown. So I'm excited. And we just got word that Sable got into the Christmas Village at Love Park, which is like a 6-week pop-up, which is really, really busy. So I'm just kind of like, my head's down. I'm going to focus. I'm going to get all these things in order. It feels like, feels similar to like opening up in the mall again, where I just have to figure out staffing and all this stuff. So I'm just trying to focus on that, and feeling excited about that opportunity. And then in January, I'm going to just go surf somewhere. And I'm like, I've been talking about this long enough. I think that I should just preemptively buy a ticket so that I really carve out time to make this happen, and like find the surf school or this place to go.
Where are you going to go?
I don't know. But I feel like I should, instead of me being like, okay, in January, I'm going to wait till January, I'm going to do it. It's like, no, now I'm going to have it.
You should go to like Senegal.
Senegal. Yeah, I ain't trying to go that far.
That's not any further than like Hawaii.
It isn't?
Hawaii, I think, is further.
Hawaii would be terrifying. That would be such a full circle for me to go back to Hawaii.
I know. You were born in Hawaii. That's the first thing I thought that you were thinking about was Hawaii.
I should go to Hawaii.
Where were you going to go? Like Miami?
I was born in Hawaii, and I learned how to swim at 10 months in Hawaii, so I should go back.
You should go back and fetch it.
Sankofa.
Will you take Joe?
Wow.
The only thing is Hawaii is expensive. Your money would probably go a little longer in Senegal. If you go to Senegal, I'll go with you.
Girl, I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. But I was thinking of like when when I researched some of the best places, it was like Costa Rica or Nicaragua, something like that. Some place where they speak Spanish, or like some places in Mexico have really great.
If you go to Costa Rica, you should go to what is it? The black side, Puerto Vida.
Puerto Vida, is that really what it's called?
Yeah.
Wow. Porta or Pura? P-U-R or P-O-R-T-A?
No, P-U-R-D-A.
Porta Vida. Wow. Okay.
Why? What does that mean? What is that? What am I saying?
That's a saying where like it means pure life. Like it's like buena onda. It's like good feelings. It's like chill. Pura Vida.
Oh, P-U-R-A.
Okay, you said it wrong.
Oops. Well, the other way was better.
Lastly, this is for all of the listeners. I need your help. I'm still homeschooling Jolie. So last year we talked about like the Civil War, and Jolie, the word slavery, like we all like are like, oh yeah, slavery. But you don't really know what it really is until you see some movie that like breaks your heart, and you're like, oh, that's what slavery was. That's what white people did to black people. And I'm thinking, I think Sankofa is now on Netflix, and I'm just thinking, like, what's the appropriate age to traumatize and radicalize your kids? Like, how
I definitely think. What grade is she in? Like 5th grade?
She's in 6th grade now.
Oh yeah, she's way behind. In 5th grade, my 5th grade teacher / my mom's current husband made us watch Glory. Did you ever see Glory?
Mm-mm.
And used to borrow it from my dad, which was really fucked up.
So
every year he borrowed that movie from my dad because my dad was a bootlegger and then stole his wife.
Your dad was a bootlegger. The plot thickens.
Yeah, my dad used to be in the movie theater with the camera like,
no!
Dead ass. We had all the movies, honey. Guys.
Where was he selling them? I guess to white middle school teachers.
My dad was a hustler. He was like, I gotta get shit done for my family. He used to sell fruit. Listen. He used to sell fruit.
Mr. Henry.
No, but Glory, if she already passed the Civil War, then that's about the Civil War. But it's really... Have you seen Glory?
I just answered you. I said no.
Glory is on Hulu. I would give you my Hulu to watch.
So do you... I have Hulu. I don't have Amazon.
Do you have Hulu Plus?
Oh, that reminds different things. Me. I'll talk about that later. But, okay, so you say the first movie, the intro should be Glory?
If she knows about the Civil War, then she should see Glory to understand like how the black soldiers were treated, and it'll give her insight into the treatment and the fact that there's a lot of black soldiers that were really proud to serve in the war, and they were basically like what is it when you're in the first part and you know you're gonna die?
I don't know.
Maybe. It's when you're in the front line. They're in the front lines. They're on the front lines of this. I forget the name of the battle. I will watch it again with you because I need to refresh it. And they chose to do it because they wanted to die for the country, despite the fact that the country did not love them back. It's really complicated and really beautiful. But I remember watching that and thinking, this is a lot.
Okay.
I need to understand this.
I'm really interested.
Roots?
Yeah, I'm interested. What was folks' entry like first actual media in which they saw the reenactment of slavery and the horrors of it, and what age do you think it's appropriate? And because I do think it's now is the time.
Child. Now is the time.
Get her. She'll be like, Mom, you know what you white people did? You get all radical.
Listen,
we're all black.
Now is the time. Definitely. Definitely now.
Yeah, okay. Well, everybody, I'm gonna have a poll up, and I'm curious to see what people have to say. Moving on to pop culture, Robert Kelly this Monday was found guilty by a New York jury on all charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. And he has yet to face his, sentencing, but he could face decades in prison. And apparently he was very stoic and didn't have much emotion and was just shaking his head in disbelief at statements being shared about him. And I feel like this is a big moment. And just want to hold space and lift up all of the women, many of which fear for their lives, who went up on that stand and testified and shared the horrific accounts. And again, rest in peace, Aaliyah, who was also a victim of his, predatory ways. And we have no idea the impact that had on her. So
for some reason, though,
good.
For some reason, I don't know why, but I wasn't expecting anything else, especially since he was Black. And I was like, he deserves this. If he's not guilty, then, and he's the fuck? I think I would have been more concerned if he was white, sadly. Would have been like, they're going to figure out a way to say that there's not enough evidence, or, the jury was, what do they say, influenced by the media and all this bullshit. Robert Kelly is one of these people that I feel very strongly. I know that we talked about restorative justice, but I just feel like there's no hope for him. I feel like he's one of those throw him away. and maybe, and I will say it's probably because I have my history with all of this, but he's not the type, he's still denying it. And that's what I think makes him either so dangerous or so terribly troubled, or both.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But his troubles, for whatever reason, and I have a lot of empathy and compassion for folks, but I have none for him. I just want him to rot.
Oh.
I do. I just want him to go away and rot. And I don't want him to make any more money. I don't want anything. And Chuck D, the legendary Chuck D from Public Enemy, is getting dragged on Twitter right now. And I don't disagree with what he's saying. I just know I don't have the capacity for it in my heart.
I think that's the important part, right? What did he say?
So he said, interesting to see the conversation on some radio show around R. Kelly. When you start seeing 30 to 40-year-olds swimming in the same social media waters as 12-year-olds, ellipsis, social media entertainment mixing, it's like putting a nightclub inside a high school gym. It's like paying attention to the comment board on content without ever knowing the damn thing about the commenter. Take a survey feeding escargot to third graders and try getting a good response. Everybody will settle for pizza. So anyway, keep going. So abused in his youth, an addict as an adult, like Ike Turner, served 8 months in prison. Rick James did similar time. Ike came out a changed, positive human being. How long should R. Kelly spend in prison? And does a U.S. system give a man a chance for a man to change his world? Research and read. Share the first two letters, R-E. That means reading the shit you don't like to the point of exhaustion. Don't fool yourself. So a lot of people are like, and a response was, people are quoting him, and the world says, where's the Black man's support of women and children? Time to step it up. That was him on Janet Jackson's New Agenda in 1993. Other people are like, you sound like a rape sympathizer. What the fuck? Someone else said, all due respect, Chuck D, the past years have given us levels of willing. There's regular celebrity willing that we can be shocked at, laugh at even later. And then there's the nuclear. Damn, he and she did that fucking much. Robert Kelly is the latter.
Yeah.
So,
and also Ike Turner wasn't apologetic. Ike Turner was very dismissive and flippant and
right. So
like,
was he changed?
yeah, I mean, he was like, he, you can just watch the documentary with Tina, and he's not like, you know, it doesn't feel like a man that is completely changed and
Or
remorseful
reformed,
and
right?
like cares about her and is accountable. Most importantly, it's about the accountability, right? Like the
Is
work.
it? Is it? Because
I
some
think
people would
so.
say most importantly, it's about the reform.
Well, I think
Uh,
that's a how can you be reformed if you're not accountable?
Well, I not in R. Kelly's, not from his vantage point, from other people's vantage point. Their first and foremost concern is how do we reform him? The prison system's not going to do it. Other people's are like, how do you take accountability? Other people's are is how do we make you pay?
Yeah, no,
Punitive.
I think that the prison system is a fucked up
We know it.
excuse for accountability and reform, and that's never the way. And and yeah, that just doesn't feel like the way to do it. Um, because I think there are possibilities and there are people that have the capacity to help R. Kelly to really see himself and to really see what he's done and to like, I don't know if redemption's the word, but I feel like at the very most see himself and see what he's done. But those possibilities, we just don't, that's just not the norm. It's just not what we do as a society, as like explore that and make that more important than the punishment part. So,
Yeah, this is where I'm a hypocrite, and I know all that, and I still don't care, and
but
I'm
because
like
you don't have
rot
the
in jail.
capacity, and
Mm-hmm.
it shouldn't be on you to figure that out, to like have to
And
carry
yeah,
any of that weight
and it's
or
not
like,
about me. It's about his
well,
victims and how
survivors,
they
people
feel.
that experience that,
Yeah.
people that have experienced abuse. I don't know. I don't know, but he is.
So is it a win? That's my question. Is it a win? Why are we happy if?
I'm not happy, but
Okay.
because he's a sick person, I think, and
Yes.
he's at the bottom of the cancellation barrel. Like nobody
He's at
wants
the top of it.
the top, the bottom. I don't know. I yeah,
He's at the top of you're canceled.
yes. He's like, you don't
Except in
play R.
Drake's mind,
Kelly,
since
you may be able to, watch the Cosby Show and people just be like, well, that's what he did, but like R.
that's the
Kelly.
character. We can separate the character from the man, right? Yeah.
Speaking of another
Mm.
person that continually
This was sad.
seems to
This is
be
sad.
involved with in support of sexual violators, rapists, is Nicki Minaj. And I don't know how to say this woman's last name. Do you?
Oh no, Jennifer Hugh Ho
Jennifer
Yo.
Hugh Hoff Ho? I don't know what it is. Jennifer, we're so sorry that we do not know your name. But Jennifer H is the victim of Kenneth Petty, who's Nicki Minaj's husband. She was 16 years old, or rather, I actually don't know how old she was. Oh, yes, she was
Yep,
16
she
years
was
old when she
16
was raped in 94 by him. And he served
at knife point.
at knife point, dragged into a home and raped by her. Um, and he served 4 years in prison after the rape charge. And since he's married Nicki Minaj, his name, his past has been coming up, and especially since he failed to file as a sex offender in California when he moved there. He the spotlight was on him, and of course his past came up, and so Jennifer, the victim, is saying that and suing Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty, claiming that she's being harassed and intimidated and threatened by them because they are trying to get her to change her statement, to somehow claim that that's not what happened, or to make light of um, the rape and the trauma that she has been endured since she was 16 years old. And apparently Nicki phoned her up in March of 2020. She was on the reel telling her side of the story very tearfully, very, very meekly. And so then Nicki phoned her up and tried to bribe her off and tried to pay, have her family come to LA
I think
just
she
so
only
that
offered her 20K too.
$20,000 so that they could craft a statement recanting the plaintiff's rape charge. And Nicki's not new to this kind of. It's so interesting and wild to me because her brother is in jail right now for rape and pedophilia of a very young girl. I don't know exactly, but I think it was his wife or his baby mom's daughter, something like that, something really like fucked up like that. Nicki,
what? This is interesting. Yeah, this is really interesting to me because a lot of people fault her for marrying him. And would I be able to? I would have a hard time looking past this, right? You're 16, you raped somebody at knife point. Who knows how he's presented this story to her? He went to prison. He, quote unquote, did his time, paid back society, whatever. And does that mean that he is not now deserving of a second chance, of a new life, of being loved, and of proving that he is a changed human? I think he does deserve that. And this is probably a very unpopular take. So I don't fault her for marrying him and loving him and saying like, I am not okay with it, with what happened, but the man that I'm looking at today is not that man, right? Okay, that's your business. What is so deeply disappointing is her involvement in trying to seemingly protect her brand and to get this woman to change the story. And now, Nicki has a huge army behind her. She has so much influence. So many people are discrediting this woman. She's saying that she's getting like death threats from Nicki's people. Like it's a whole thing and reliving it. And then there's the people that are saying, oh, well, she's just in it for money. She could have just hushed and shut the fuck up. But like, I don't recall this woman coming out and saying anything. I think it was the fact that people found out his past. Of course, you're marrying Nicki Minaj. They look into you. And then he failed to register as a sex offender. So it's like, it's so gray. And it's
gray.
I mean, it's gray in terms of how it's, in terms of the public, like it's gray now. People are not believing this woman. None of us were there. I believe her personally.
He was convicted.
And I understand, but a lot of people, I'm not arguing that. I believe this woman. What I'm saying is because of Nicki's actions and because of her influence and the and the public's willingness to try to have her back. Now this woman who already fought to prove what happened to her, now it's gray again. Now people are questioning
all over again too.
She has to relive it all over again. She has to prove herself all over again.
And protect herself more than anything.
Right.
Out of protection for herself.
Right.
It
makes me think like, what happened to Nicki?
That's what I'm saying. Like, but also Nicki, why don't you get canceled? Like, why aren't people canceling her ass? She's wilding. That's crazy.
I mean, Nicki apparently is bulletproof at this point. Like she she can go online. People just make fun of her, but they're never gonna. They just won't. And I don't believe in canceling her either. But I do see what you're
If we're
saying.
gonna
That
cancel somebody, right? If there's gonna be like if the woke folks is gonna say something, I take that back. I don't know what that means.
why
But
isn't
if
she on the list? I
I
understand.
don't
Like,
understand why this isn't like a
not
big
condoning
like.
it, but
I guess she's beneath even that conversation. I don't know, but Nikki, get help, sis. You in trouble, girl. You in the thick of it, girl. You got a baby now, girl. What is
it
good
makes
with
me
you?
think like, what? Why do you sympathize so much? Or, but also, people. You know me. I have a friend who I was once in relationship with, who is, being he is accused of something horrendous, and I keep in touch with him. He is, awaiting trial, and I acknowledge that what he did is horrible, or what he's being accused of is horrible, and I still have room and capacity. I don't excuse it, but I still believe if he were to do time and get out, that he still deserves love and yada yada yada. Now
That's
he
one
can't
thing.
be
That's
right. He
different.
can't
What she's
be
doing is something completely different. We're not
intimidating.
right. I'm
Exactly.
not arguing the fact that she's with somebody that's done a
Okay.
heinous crime. That's not my argument or like what I'm focused on. It's the fact that you are actually out here trying to discredit and
Yeah.
threaten this woman, knowing damn well in your heart of hearts that he probably did it. And being around that kind of energy and history and narrative in the first place, like, girl, sit down, be quiet.
But that makes me think, what the hell happened to her?
That makes me
That
think
she
too,
can dismiss it and it's okay.
girl. Nikki, we praying for you, girl.
Exactly. Oh, this is a much lighter note. Lighter! So, remember the guy? Admittedly, I am an old auntie at this point. Remember the man who Megan the Stallion was dating? Moneybag, yo.
Well,
Listen
you
how I
don't know.
said
I
that.
definitely don't know, girl.
Okay, so I thought that he was like so much older than her. Apparently, he just turned 30 or 31 or something like that. He looks like he's 50.
Oh, you better drink
He
some
has a
water.
great, not 50, but he doesn't look well. He's drinking too much or something. He needs to rest. But for real, I'm concerned. Like, baby, you are aging. That melanin is not serving you. So his girlfriend, Ari, I don't know what she does. Maybe she's a rapper too. I'm not sure, but I know he raps.
What's his name? Moneybag Yo?
Yeah.
Joe.
I don't know. Yeah. Aunties. So his girlfriend, Ari something or other. They're always on the shade room. And long story short, I was really proud when I saw this. For his birthday, she bought him 20 acres of land. Not a watch, not a this, and then was like, we about to get generational wealth, baby. Brrrah. And so she is being attacked now for doing that because they're not married. They're only dating. So they're like, this is what happens when you give gifts and acts of service like you a fucking wife and you not. And in my mind, this is also me being the dumb Libra I am at times. I'm like, that's such a lovely gift.
That's
What?
such
How
a
no?
lovely
I'm like,
gift. How
first of all, aren't we just impressed that she didn't buy him a fucking car that depreciates in value? Like, aren't we happy that he has land? Like, I'm here for this thought process. If she's got it, trick.
yeah.
But also, I understand. But also, what if she doesn't want to be married? What if she doesn't want to
But what
get
does that have
married?
to
What
do
if
with
this
it?
is
I don't
it?
understand what marriage has to do with her giving a gift. Like what if it
Apparently,
were a Lamborghini or something, it would be more like it would make more sense.
no, apparently you're supposed to withhold love and gifts until you're married. And I was like, news to me, because I've been. Apparently,
Or a
like,
certain
that's a real
echelon
conversation.
of gifts.
Yeah, because you're not a wife. And so they're never going to buy the cow if they get
Girl.
to milk it for free. And I was thinking about us, and I'm like, maybe this is our dumbass problems. We'd be like, yeah, I'm going to cook for you. I'm going to clean your house. Yeah. I
We
don't
talked about
know.
this to an extent. To an extent. If I
I
had
know.
money like that, like if I had money like that,
I would be buying all the acres for my partner.
I think it depends on. It depends on the personal persons. Lord help me. It depends
Pizza,
on the
personal pan
person's
pizza.
Their own criteria of what's like. I don't fucking
shit.
know.
Listen, this woman said he takes care of my son. You have no idea the services that he does for me emotionally, physically, spiritually. It's hard for me to believe listening to him, but okay, girl.
I don't deserve all that now.
I'm like, okay, girl, you got it. But I just thought it just made me think, like, okay, maybe I gotta reel it in when I do.
Another episode, girl.
It is. It's a bigger topic.
What's the most what's the craziest girl? Yeah, you.
It's everything
you
for me.
Putting your life in danger. Making seafood
for my partner.
Well, you could die. That to me, that's too much, girl. You should have.
I did. I probably would do that again.
Die. My throat closed up.
Yeah, like I literally.
That was too much.
That was. I don't even think it. Well, one, you have to put it in context. Did you even say what I did? In one, you have to put it in context. I was broke at the time. I think I may have spent like $900 on one birthday party for my partner, and he loved seafood. My former partner, he loved it, and I am so allergic to seafood, and I was in there like cooking the shit out of shrimp, crab. I mean. Crab legs. It was the legs, it was the shrimp, and something else. And I just remember thinking I might die in here. And I was taking Benadryl, like I thought I could handle this, but this is really. I had to get out. So I invited all his boys up, and I had to leave because I said I'll come back later when you guys are done eating. I left and then came back with a beer pong fucking table because he loved beer pong and 3 homemade cheesecakes because he loved cheesecake.
I've been like, yo, she hyper shit, yo. Why wasn't I there? Hell down.
Yo, down. She dicky, yo. She
on his top. God, that ain't your man.
And that wasn't even Shanti. That wasn't even the gift. That was just a party. He got gifts on top of that.
The knob and had a nice outfit on.
Went in just the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Okay. The whole shebang.
I don't know. When it comes to like, I don't know. That's another topic. We need to talk about that. I think we did talk about it. We need to remember it because
I don't think we never talked about like it in this way. We just in terms of gifts and like. I just feel.
Shut up! Don't try to.
I'm about to expose myself again.
I'm gonna circle back at the end of the episode because this is tied in beautifully.
No, I just feel no, really. I just have a hard time withholding what I consider love because I express love in acts of service and in gift giving. That's how I'm most comfortable. Really, I express love in every fucking way, but that way, those ways are the ones that are like, oh, you like this? I'm gonna get it for you. Oh, I thought about you. Here you go.
You know, we've been doing this for a long time. And you know, I need a car. You know, I need a new Gucci bag. Like,
but what did I say to you? I said, I can come home and you can use my car and I work from home, so you can just take mine. Did I not say that? I might not be able to buy you one, but bitch, you can have mine if you need it. Problems. All right. Just let's not withhold love just because, you know.
It's not withholding, but it's also being aware of what's at risk. I don't know. You ask.
But vulnerability, I wrote this down. Oh my God, where's my journal? Vulnerability is emotional something. Oh man.
Doesn't seem like you memorized it.
Hold on, I wrote it down. It's emotional something or other. Hold on. If you were on Instagram, you would have
debilitating.
No, if you were,
it's an open gaping wound.
If you were on Instagram, you would have seen it. It was really something.
Whatsoever.
Oh, here we go. Vulnerability is emotional exposure, risk, and uncertainty. And I feel like we need more of that.
But I think I don't. Okay.
But also, I'm being stupid at the same time. So it's like, where's the balance,
Of course, all of that needs to be weighed against the quality and the quality of the person, right? Like, don't give pearls to swine, right? Like,
well,
if
maybe.
JoJo were like, I love him though, I gotta be open up to him and give him everything. And I know that this person was,
it's about reciprocity and about intention. Their intention.
Me who I have to be to kiss reciprocity.
Keep going.
Lauren taught me that word.
She did. I said, "What the is that?"
I don't know what that means.
I used to not say that. You already know my dyslexic ass was like, to get some reciprocity. I didn't know what that word was, baby. She said recipes. I'm hot, yo. The fan is annoying. Oh, shout out to recipes. Also, seafood recipes. I can cook. Apparently, that shit was delicious. I couldn't taste it, but apparently, the Old Bay was hitting. Next up, do you want to get into Kelly Price?
She was lost, and then she was found.
She is found.
Leave her alone. Amen. She's recovering. You blew up her spot. All I know is that was a public blowing up of her spot.
She was probably somewhere like, damn, can I live? Mind your fucking business. I texted to y'all like, please pray. Kelly's missing.
Like, oh, no.
5 minutes later, she was like, nah, I'm here. I'm chilling. I just don't fuck with y'all. Her sister was like, I haven't heard from her in mad long. Then Debrat came out like, that's because she don't fuck with you. I was like, oh God. It's getting tricky. Leave Kelly and her family alone. Everything's fine. We're not, but none of our business.
Hallelujah, Kelly.
I'm glad she's well. We need Kelly here.
She did die. She died and then was revived. That's how serious
she
her battle
flatlined
with COVID was. So Jesus be a fence and be some silence and solitude. All right. Okay, on to politics. We may not be able to go through everything. It's how are we doing on time? Feels like I've been talking.
We're late, but keep it pushing. 52 minutes.
I'm so interested in what you have to say about this. New York Representative AOC. How do you say her? The O. Alexandra Ocasio. Last Thursday was seen crying.
What? Ocasio. Go ahead.
Ocasio. AOC.
I think you wrote that wrong.
I think I did.
Now, you got me. Ocasio, yes. I'm like Ocasio.
My bad. AOC, aka AOC, was seen last Thursday crying on the floor of the House after she switched her vote from no to present, which is a very passive, I'm not taking a stance on this, for an Israel defense funding bill she says she still opposes. That vote split her from her other progressives in the House, including
the squad.
I don't know how to say
Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib.
Yeah. So the vote passed 420 to 9, which blows my mind. 9 people voted no. Only one of them was a Republican. 420 voted.
Oh, what Republican voted no?
I don't know, but I just know.
I would love to know that.
Republican. She later went on to write a letter on Twitter explaining her frustration, explaining herself, but like doing everything but explaining herself. She didn't explain herself. But she basically explained her frustration that this bill was kind of rushed and kind of just thrown in here and kind of made routine without the usual committee debate markup or regular order. She says the damage of this careless process created very real spillover effects into our community. It created a real sense of panic and horror among those in our community who otherwise engaged thoughtfully in these discussions and fueled the discussion to devolve to a point where it became clear that this vote would risk a severe devolution of the good faith community fabric that allows us to responsibly join in the struggle for human rights and dignity everywhere, from Palestine to the Bronx to Queens. She said that she apologized to the folks she disappointed. She never offered a reason as to why she made that present and didn't say yes or no decision. And many folks speculate that it was a strategic political move. Many Republicans, conservatives are kind of like just calling them crocodile tears. They're bringing up another incident in which I think a Republican had a similar situation where they chose to write present, in which AOC was like, you got to take a stand. Mm-hmm. You got to really say it with your chest. But then she turned around and I don't know how you would describe this. This is the same person who went to the Met Gala with Tax the Rich on her back, making a statement, who has been upheld and beloved by many for being a part of the progressive Democrats. What do they call them? The squad? Is that what she's a part of? Which obviously she, even though she agrees with them, didn't really stand up and say anything. I think Rashida was the only one to stand up and really say it with her chest and talk about how this was, a complete funding the complete devastation of the Palestinian people. And, like, hell no, I'm not going to say yes to this. So I'm not surprised, but how do you feel, Antoinette?
I'm not surprised. I think it was probably, I'm absolutely sure it was political. Otherwise, she wouldn't have done it. I mean, come on. Someone got in her ear and said, girl, you better fund Israel, because you are in New York with a bunch of Jews. And if you want to be reelected, you can play them games if you want to. Or she has a bill that she's trying to get pushed through, and they said to her behind closed doors, or, a bill that we might not even know about. Okay, I'll push that through if you don't fight this. It happens all the time. So I'm curious to see what's coming up for her. I also think that someone probably said to her, this shit is going to pass. So you can take a stand and not get the other things done that you want to get done. Or you can understand this is what's going to happen, whether you vote yes, present, or no. It's happening. You saw the majority, how it voted. So take your stand, further isolate yourself, or play politics. You're a politician now.
Mm-hmm. Which is
and
fine.
Sadly, that's what politics is at this point. And I really respect. It's always been. Yeah, I mean, I really respect Rashida for saying stuff with her chest. But yeah, AOC, I think her tears is her recognizing. I think AOC is really needed in the Democratic Party. I think her spirit is one of an activist, and she's trying to be an activist within a structure that is stifling, that is really anti-activism. And, it's going to be difficult, and she's going to have a lot of situations like this if she stays in office, where she probably feels like she's selling her soul. And that must be really hard. So I have empathy for her. I empathize for her. I really do. So, but it doesn't make me trust her any less. Honestly, at this point, she hasn't done not yet. She hasn't done anything, and that might be easier for me to say because I'm not a Palestinian. I'm sure they feel very differently. But the U.S.'s stance on Israel and Palestine, they're pro-Israel, period.
I think it just continues to play out the, just like you said, the politics and the systemic structure and the demands of what it requires to be a politician and have power in American politics. And so it doesn't in any way make me trust any of it anymore at all. It's just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Here we go. So let's continue with this
more of the same.
This performance of change, equality, and progress.
Yeah.
Put your fist up, girl. To the people,
it's so us. It's
power
so
to
us.
The people, girl.
It's so
Tax
us. It's
rich,
you're like,
girl.
it doesn't make me trust them anymore. And I'm like, it doesn't make me distrust her. I think that she's trying. I just know that she's between a rock and a fucking hard place. I do. Anyway, do we want to go? Can we skip this next thing and save it for next week? The next politics?
We got to do our history on it. Anyway, America's running out.
I have it. America's in debt. But America's been in debt. And it's not as dire, I think, as everyone's making it. We could do it quickly. Or we can save it. Not really. I would have to go into it. I have the notes that I have. Let's do it next week.
I would like to talk to you about it. So you should do it.
Now or later?
I mean, why not do it now?
Okay, Queen. Go ahead. Go.
Oh, you can go. Go ahead.
No, you have to set it up.
Okay. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned lawmakers Tuesday that the federal government could run
you
short
sound like the
cash
NPR show you've been watching. Can you hear me?
Anyway, I'm sorry. By me, okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead. The Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned lawmakers Tuesday that the federal government could run short of cash to pay its bills. Child, you think you weren't scared of the first of the month? Watch out. It's the entire U.S. government. Unless Congress acts quickly to increase the government's borrowing authority. Republicans blocked a measure to increase or suspend the debt ceiling on Monday. And Yellen is freaking out. She's like, this is going to be a disaster. It's going to be a global financial catastrophe. Millions of families and workers are going to be in trouble. Much of this debt or much of the being able to pay bills is us actually paying Social Security benefits, child tax credits, military, what do you call that? Pensions. So she's like, come on, guys, we got to get it together. And Democrats are like, nah, you guys got a special way to do this. Why don't you make it happen? And Democrats are like, nah, you brought all this debt on us with the boy Trump. Like, you need to be a part of this. It needs to be a unified decision. And so Antoinette will actually attempt to explain to us what that means. Like, what are they talking about? How can the government run out of money?
No, I'm going to do my best. I'm just going to try to level set because I really don't understand all of the U.S. debt, but
we can.
What I'm going to say is
money to go to Israel though, to fund Israel a little bit more though. Okay, make
so the U.S. debt ceiling is what we're talking about, and that is how much the U.S. government is allowed to borrow in order to pay its bills. Right. To level set here, the U.S. has not been able to pay its bills for over 100 years. Like, this is not new. So every year they borrow. Every single year. Trump absolutely increased the debt, right? I think it went from like 25 trillion to 29 trillion within his presidency. So the government, what they're trying to pay, it covers Social Security, it covers Medicare, like you said, military salaries, interest on national debt, tax refunds, those kind of things. So the reason that we have to borrow money each year is because the revenue coming in to the US from taxes and investments is less than how much the government owes, both domestically and internationally. So to be clear, the majority of the debt owned, so the majority of the people that the US owe money to are American investors. Only 1/3 of the debt is owed to foreign investors. And everybody's like, that's why China's going to take over. Well, Japan is actually the leading one that we owe money to. So there are different thoughts on this, right?
But the leading money that's being owed is to Social Security and to
it's to U.S. investors.
It's to us. It's to the taxpayers.
Right. So if you don't increase the debt ceiling, then what's going to happen is you aren't able to pay us, the little people, because they're not going to not pay our foreign investors, right? The way this works, where they reinvest the money, like there's all these ways to get around it, right? You can
print more money.
I don't know. You do something. I don't understand it because I don't understand the stock market enough. But I was looking for an explained on this. I said, well, there got to be an explained on the U.S. deficit now.
And tell us,
huh?
We need somebody to come on and tell us.
I know. Fine. Let me just keep going. So basically, if we don't increase the debt ceiling, and also this is the time.
I don't know what you mean by increase the debt ceiling.
Basically say, okay, you can borrow more money
from yourself.
Congress has to say, borrow more money from Americans, from all that shit. Borrow more money. You can borrow more money to pay it. Every year they basically do. Like, they never don't do this. But this is when they perform and they make demands that have nothing to do with this issue in order to say, okay, now you can borrow the money. That is how politics works. Like, this is where they're going to start. Like, this is where the Republicans and the Democrats are going to be talking about money. But within all of these bills where they're arguing, there's all of these sublines of stuff that has nothing to do with the larger bill. It's like they sneak stuff in that they want to get done, and they basically hold people hostage. So it's like, that's why the government will shut down and shit, because they're like, I'm not going to budge on what I want. You're not going to budge on what you want. So now the American people have to suffer. Until you give me what I want, then I'll fix this problem. It's like you withholding rent from your landlord if the sink isn't fixed. And when he comes to fix the sink, you like, oh, yeah, but I also want the house painted. It's like, the paint ain't had nothing to do with the sink, but I want it. And if you want this money, you're going to do it. It's kind of like that. I'm trying to dumb it down. Does that make sense?
I guess so. But the part that I don't understand is that we take money out we print out the money. So who are we going to take more money from? Is the Federal Bank Reserve. We're going to tell them to print more money so that so that they can pay.
It's not a print more money thing. It's not a print.
We have debt with our own selves.
Yeah, but it's not like it has to do with like investments, and it's really complicated, and I can't explain that. But there's ways around it where, like, they can, instead of investing in these Social Security things, because Social Security is nothing but it's in the stock market and shit. Like, it's weird. It's not just a pile of money they're divvying out. Like, it's a big gambling fucking ring, basically.
Sources, girl. Send me those links so I can look over it. I don't understand.
Okay, but let me finish real fast. So some economists are like, listen, yeah, the debt goes up every year, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. And the reason why they say that is because what they say is, listen, it sounds like, oh my God, we don't have enough money to pay our bills. everything's going to go to shit. But what they're saying is if you are investing in the right things, then in the future, that spending will create more money. So Republicans will argue often that they want to run the government like a business. But in many cases, successful businesses often spend much more money than they make before they become successful. Look at Amazon. So Democrats are saying, okay, we just need to raise the debt ceiling, because if we're giving the people more money, if we're putting this money into struggling single parents or people with children, into our military, into Social Security, that money will go back into the economy and we will make it back tenfold because it just circulates. So yeah, we're going to take this investment, but it's not going to, like, we're going to pay this down. And these numbers sound horrible to us because trillion, I don't even understand it. I also don't understand the stock market, how that shit works. But those are the two approaches. And so the Democrats often argue, well, you want to give the money to the rich, and that doesn't generate more income because you believe in trickle down economics, and the shit ain't trickling down. Where we want to give the money to the regular folk, and they'll go out and support the economy. They'll go out in this, they'll go out in that. If people are out of jobs during COVID, they are gonna go out and go to, you know, a restaurant or this and that if we give them the money to do it. But if we don't, then you have foreclosures, then you have bankruptcies, then you have this, and then people are taking money out of the stock market because they're scared and we're in a recession, which is why you get these bailouts and these investments into different kinds of corporations and things. I don't know which one is right because I don't get all of it. All I know is, does that make more sense now?
Kind of, sort of. I have more questions, but I'm not going to keep.
I ain't the right one.
Yeah.
But this was the Around the Way Curls version.
Welcome to Around the Way Curls Economics. Not to be
of us trying to explain the deficit. There needs to be
to people that actually understand. That sounded like our Jesus nativity. Like, what the
Ew, my tongue is green from the kombucha. The nativity, I will never live that down. I was so embarrassed.
I'm like, okay.
It was Murrin.
And a recession. And then the recess, the bell ring, and then that's,
you know what? If you listen back on that wasn't that bad.
No, it was good.
That wasn't that
bad. I would not know.
Because I looked at this damn outline. I said, "Bitch, you can't just say we
running out of money."
Right? I was like,
sky is falling.
You have to be prepared to talk about what the deficit actually is.
Your aunt and your cousin and them.
I said to Shanti, what was my text? I said, I see on the outline that we're talking about this. We have to be prepared to talk about what the national debt ceiling actually is. Are you? And she goes, no. Are you? Oh my God. That's Shanti for you. She be sounding the alarm. Like, y'all, we about to run out of money. Ain't gonna be no more Social Security. It's mayhem. Unsustainable.
Speaking of which, this is the last thing I'm going to say when it comes to politics. I think Internet gave me $4 so I could use her Amazon Prime to watch Children of Men. I feel like, have you ever seen Children of Men?
Mm-mm. I need to.
Oh my God. I think it's the most, it's an amazing, in terms of just cinematography, but it's crazy. And I watched it again and I was like, wow. Shout out to Children of Men. Especially with all of the refugee stuff that we're experiencing now. It's very eerily telling. So
I'll watch it.
You should watch it and have
all right. We got to get into this break. I don't think we should do a voicemail this week, even though we have one.
I think you should.
Should we? Or will our topic just be really short?
Our topic's really grody.
Fuck you. Y'all can tell Shanti did this outline. She said, I don't know where I'm going with this topic. No. I said, well,
you lucky
we kind of need to know.
You lucky I'm here. Listen, this is good.
All right, let's take a break now.
I think you are assuming that people want our episodes to be shorter when they may be like, why y'all keep
I want it to be shorter because you edited all last month while I was sick, and I have to edit this one. But all right.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's take a break. And then it'll be a little different. We'll come back. Shout out our new patrons, get into this voicemail, and then get into our mini topic. Sound like a plan?
Oh,
okay. All right. Take us out, Sheila.
These messages will be right back.
Wow. Boop. You gotta sing that with your chest.
What's up with the boop at the end?
That's I didn't know you didn't like that. I apologize. Boop. That's me. That's it. Go into the message. Okay. I won't do it. Boop. I should just boo you. All right. And we're back. So we have, of course, Patreon. Patreon is looking a little different. We still, okay, if anyone is a graphic designer or knows one who wants to design and brand our background for our Patreon videos, please hit us up at aroundthewaycurls@gmail.com or on our hotline. I don't have the number pulled up right now, but I will in a second. Yeah, we're looking for folks, and I honestly would love to put the money. I was going to go on Fiverr, and I just want to give money to Around the Way Curls people. And there is a human who reached out and said, like, I do this kind of work. So hit us up and stop playing around. Call us at 215-948-2780. 215-948-2780. This week we have 2 new patrons. Shout out to Angela K and Toya or whatever. Welcome to Patreon. And thank you for being a friend. And then I would also like to shout out, remember when I said on the episode, I asked folks to rate and review?
Yeah, Shanti? Someone gonna say, yeah, it was cute. I like it, whatever.
It was like 4 people that did that. So shout out to y'all for following directions. Please continue to do it. Please rate. Please leave a comment. Please reshare, repost, tell a friend. But those reviews really do help. And I hope everybody enjoyed last week's episode. It was a little serious for us, but it was good. And this week, as promised, we have a caller. So I'm going to play this voicemail. This voicemail is it's a really interesting one. I think it's layered. So let's get into it now.
Hi, Antoinette. Hi, Shanti. This is Wendy. I just want to say I just started listening to your podcast recently. I think y'all are great. Shanti, you crack me up. You're so silly. I love it. It's perfect. And when you get serious, you're so insightful and wise. That is beautiful. Antoinette, phenomenal vocalist. I love it. I bought your CD. I told you on Twitter. That was nice that you responded, or somebody responded from your camp. I'm just amazed at how beautiful you are physically, outwardly, and how I don't understand how you've had all of these horrible seeming, sounding, negative interactions with men. That, like, it just makes me so sad to listen to the things that you share, that you experience, but I think it's great that you experience them and share them. Not that you experience them, no, but that you share them, because it just makes you seem like, I don't know, but duality is a thing, as you like to say, as you too like to say, because I see someone who is so beautiful, and to hear all of these things happen, and it's quite similar to my life. I was molested like you, I was physically assaulted like you, but I am in no way near attractive. So the things that you say you experienced, with men. And it's like, are they blind? Are they crazy? She's sweet. She's just nice. She's appreciative. She's just loving. That's what you present. And they would do that to you. And I just never got the opportunity to do that because no one wished to have a relationship with me. I just like listening to y'all, but every time I hear you speak about something that happened to you, it like trips me out because you just seem so together. To be in your 30s, you seem so together. I don't know, but continue doing what you both do. Ashanti, thank you for making me crack up every single day. Because I'm listening like I'm jumping around. And, you know, to hear growth because to listen to.
So she got cut off and she, I don't think she realized it, so she didn't call back. But I heard that voicemail. One, I thank Wendy. I thank you so much for being vulnerable and for sharing with us. But I listened to that and it broke my heart.
Why?
In a bunch of ways. It broke my heart because what I heard was one, I really, it was, I felt a couple different ways. I felt like, wow, this person really cares about me seemingly and wants to see me happy. And that made me feel really good and complimented me a bunch and see something in me that I don't always see in myself. And then it just made me so sad that Wendy doesn't see it in herself either. She said that, you know, and it made me sad to know that like, that I just felt like I was on this pedestal in terms of like how I looked or something. And like, none of that matters when it comes to how people treat you. Honestly, you can be the baddest bitch and it just doesn't matter. So like no matter how pretty we are, doesn't mean that people are going to value us more. And it doesn't mean that we have a right to be valued more if we are seemingly, you know, more aesthetically pleasing. But I know what it feels like to not feel wanted all the way through. And she said in that message, you know, that she hasn't had the opportunity to be in relationship and things, you know, in that way. And that just made me sad because I can tell she's thoughtful. You know, just by the care that she put into the message and the things that she sees and that she's deserving. And so I hope that Wendy, that, you know, you find that and that it comes to you and that you know that you deserve it.
Ashe. Yeah. I think you hit it on the head where you said that it doesn't matter and that people shouldn't be valued by how they look. But I think it's just not the case, right? And people think I think it's one that the pretty privilege is real. It's a real thing. But that it definitely distorts our reality of who is more valuable, and that somehow we come to expect that the difficulties or the challenges or the abuse, you know, is more not more deserving, but more like it's shocking that somebody that's beautiful is experiencing similar, you know, hardships. It's just kind of like, ciao.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's late and I hear my child in the kitchen and I want to scream.
Take a breath. Do you need to take a break and go talk to her?
Jojo? Jolie?
Anyway. Oh.
What are you doing?
Wow.
She's feeding her hamster. I apologize. Go to bed. Time to go to bed now. Here's some rummaging, and I'm like, this nigga is gonna try to eat some cereal right now.
Ciao. So my hamster hungry. Anyway, Wendy, thank you for listening. Thank you for calling. That was me that responded on Twitter. And shout out to you. And I hope that we stay connected. And yes, thank you. So, Shanti has a topic.
Do I?
I don't know what
this
she got. She got two
been
quotes.
Difficult for me, and I don't know that everything that I would like to talk about is what I want to talk about on the podcast. So I was like, well, what do we want to talk about? And so I went through some of the old. We share notes on our iPhones, and I know how to use it now. So I just went through past things, and for some reason, Gabrielle Union's most recent interview stuck with me, and we talked about it briefly on the last podcast with Jason. But just to dive in more into her growth and her journey, and some things really I've related to, and some things I didn't, and I was just like, I think there's some things to discuss. What? I don't know. But I'm sure that they're there. So internet,
we'll find them.
It's going to help, and we're all going to unpack this. But in a recent interview with Essence, Gabrielle Union said in reference to her having to endure her partner Dwayne Wade getting another woman pregnant when she was struggling with fertility while they were on a break or whatever. They were in a bad place. And for him having, just had to tell her, like, knowing that she's been struggling in this and again, her feeling not valuable and like, what the fuck? I can't have kids. And probably feeling and needing him in a particular way to like be in that space with her of difficulty, and he went off and was fruitful with another woman that's not experiencing those same difficulties, and then had to tell her, and then has to live with that for, like, it's a child, it's not, a crashed car. So she went on to say, who I am, the healing that I've fought for, the peace that I have fought for, I just wouldn't. Meaning that who she is now, she would never, if that same thing were to happen to her now, she wouldn't stay. She would have left. But she said that's not what happened, but there's wisdom from perspective and time and therapy and personal evolution and accountability that changes things. She went on to kind of like do a little footnote to that statement and said, one of the things I learned about giving advice is don't take advice from anyone doing something about anything that they haven't succeeded at. So if you're going to ask me, a divorced woman who's had a gang of relationship challenges, about what you should do in a relationship, you've already failed. I could give you my coulda, woulda, shoulda, but at the end of the day, I didn't. So be careful when and who you ask for advice and what to do in the moment. So, Antoinette, do you relate to the above sentiment? Are there, if you think about the hardest thing in your life, and we'll do it in terms of relationship. Do you think you would have responded the same as the woman you are now?
No.
See, I
I
can't
hope not.
say
I
that.
better not. No, no. I mean, I was in a relationship with someone who was throwing me out of his house for having too long of a conversation with one of his friends after I made him a fucking seafood feast and almost died.
Not it being the same
It wasn't
day.
the same. It wasn't the same day,
Oh, I
but
was
it
about
was.
to.
It was the same group of friends. But it wasn't once. It was multiple times. I was in a relationship with someone who's. I would look at the ground when men walk by. I was in a relationship with someone who, when we went out, he would disappear to spy on me to see if I was talking to other men who was cheating on me. No, I would not stay. I would not
You would
accept that.
not
I would
stay.
not think to myself, I can love him so much that he'll trust me and this won't be an issue. No. Then I did. And I think that with whatever tools I had, I made the best. I made the decision. It wasn't the best decision. I made the decision that I could. I made a decision that felt safe or didn't feel safe, that just felt desperate or comfortable or whatever it was. In Gabrielle Union's case, I think it's so interesting that she said that because she is partnered with Dwayne Wade and happy, seemingly, or she says that they love each other, they're best friends. They have this baby now. He has his children that she loves. And so I read this and thought to myself, sometimes, like, you make the best. There's a difference between making the right decision and the decision that we're capable of at the time. And sometimes I think that's the best decision because in her case, it worked out. Like it really did. It. So had she not made that decision, would she have her child that she always wanted? Would she still have her best friend? So I just feel like sometimes there's these best decisions that we have in our heads of this is what I should do. Every book says this. Every therapist would say this to me. Every friend would say this to me. And then she didn't. Everyone would have told her, what a violation. How terrible.
She said, but as her evolved self, she wouldn't have stayed. She wouldn't have. She wouldn't.
Yes. So to me, it's almost like, thank God she wasn't herself now. Thank God she wasn't her evolved self. There's a rhyme and a reason why that shit happened then and not right now. In my maybe my over romanticized brain, it's just like, well, she wasn't her evolved self. Two people who are supposed to find each other will find each other. And on top of that, she is her evolved self, probably be due to that situation.
Yeah, that's what she said, which I don't understand either.
How? Because those kinds of hardships force you to grow. If you look back, Shanti, you are the woman you are. Yeah, are you the same woman that you were when you were in relationship with Jolie's father?
No.
No. Would you be this woman today had you not been in relationship with Jolie's father?
Probably not, but also it could have evolved. I could have evolved a little bit more quickly, a little bit less bruises.
That's not how it works.
Deep wounds and limps.
Yeah, you could have evolved a little more quickly, but the point is you needed it to get here, right? Like when you touch a hot stove as a kid, do you like you have to touch the stove and get burned to be like, I ain't gonna do that again. Mm-hmm. That's what I think she's saying. I touched the stove and was like, oh, mm-mm. But if I already knew and felt how hot that stove was, I wouldn't have touched the fucking stove. Had I already had that feeling and that memory in my bones and my skin and my body. Mm-hmm. You see?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah,
no. No. At least that's for me. No, that's what I think.
I understand. She wouldn't have made the same. I guess I have to just keep remembering it's her her evolved self, who she is now, she wouldn't have stayed.
Yes.
And I keep thinking that she
wouldn't have stayed then.
Yeah, like no, I keep thinking that that's a diss to her having stayed. But it's not.
I think some people can read it as that.
But no, but it made her who she is now. It's not a diss. She's just saying if that same shit would come my way, I wouldn't do it again. Which is a sign of with
growth.
It's growth. It's evolution.
Yeah. Now, go ahead.
I think what triggers me is I think that I feel as though what happens, I guess you're just not evolving. I guess you're just not getting that lesson. But what happens if you find yourself in the same situation?
Well, I feel like God presents the same situation when you haven't learned the lesson. Or you keep attracting the same thing,
right? You're not.
Yeah, you're going to keep choosing what you know. Mm-hmm. So if I choose somebody again, I ain't really who's making me look at the ground. I ain't really learned nothing now.
Right. Or you have the opportunity to because you're probably going to be presented with that same situation or something similar where you have to make.
You have to prove to yourself. You have to show and prove.
You have to show that you're not the same woman.
And that feels conflicting sometimes because I also don't want to romanticize struggle of like you got to go through the trenches in order to be a real woman.
Well, it's not necessarily a struggle. Woman. It's just like, oh, I've this red flag. Say less. We ain't going down that lane. I seen this red flag. I see this. I'm not going to play this out.
But it's life experience too, right? So it doesn't have. So what I'm realizing is that my evolution doesn't have to be attached to struggle. So like having Jason on the podcast last week, right? I was editing that and was listening to something to him talking about journaling. And I looked in my drawer and I have all of these journals. Some have started, never kept going. I've got the body journal I bought from Sable. I've got the I am journal I never quite finished. And so I said to myself, why haven't you continued this? Just do it. You don't have to wait for the next heartbreaking event to open this journal.
So you only journal when you're feeling all the things.
I only journal when I'm writing a poem in the middle of the night called Fragmented. Yo, I had to text Shot yesterday. Yo, I was sad the other night. I wrote a poem. It's in my notes. She wanted me to send it to her, and I was like, no.
I said, what's
at like 2:00 in the morning, literally it says fragmented, and then it has a whole like little poem that doesn't rime. It's probably not well written.
Me had me.
No, but I'm saying so. Yes, sometimes what I don't want the message to be is that the way that we evolve is through pain and through strife and through struggle. In this case, Gabrielle Union's case, thank God she did evolve through, thank God it was for a fucking reason. But what I'm saying is it doesn't have to be that. We can choose to learn the lesson and be actively seeking it.
The path to evolution is through choice, not through struggle, right? Like you can choose.
Because you can struggle and not learn shit.
Girl.
Because I done that too now.
This dragon.
Just drag myself. Just be like, and then you become a martyr. Mm-hmm. And then you become a victim. Mm-hmm. And then that is your identity.
Another episode we could talk about, which is loosely connected to this. I was listening to my Polish guru. I told you my little angry white lady, the Polish guru, Carolyn Mace. She's my guru.
Oh, maybe you did.
She's my guru. But she was talking about how our inner selves, right? And not like our highest selves, not like, our evolved selves, but our inner selves, how it fuels addictions that we have, or it fuels and continues patterns that keep us stuck in a particular way. And so
why?
What'd you say?
Why? That's so annoying.
Isn't it annoying?
Like, why the fuck would you
Oh,
inner self, why would you do that? I'm irritated. Like,
but she was talking about how, similar to what we were just saying, that you have to do that journaling, right? You have to write down, you have to ask yourself these questions of like, what are the things that I'm addicted to, and it doesn't have to be crack. It could just be, I'm addicted to unrequited love. I'm addicted to this idea that I'm not lovable, or I'm addicted to this idea that of being alone or being a martyr. All these things that we somehow play out in our lives, right? And it keeps coming up, and it keeps coming up until we choose differently. But she was asking these specific questions to help us identify them, which feels just so corny. It feels so corny. But shout out to Gabrielle Union, because I think you hit the nail on the head with that. It shouldn't be through struggle. That's the stupid way of doing it. It should be through
you don't have to.
You dummy.
Don't have
dumbass
to judge it.
Out here doing this dumb shit over and over.
You don't have to judge it. That's the stupid and uncouth and unruly way. You unworthy idiot.
Dunces.
But I don't agree with her on her second statement.
What was the second statement? Okay.
I don't agree with
that. Me either.
I don't,
Let's go over that.
Okay, yeah. I don't agree with her saying you only take advice from people who have succeeded. I think you learn so much from people who have failed.
What about people that are actively failing?
Even more. Real time, baby. I'm watching you fuck up. I thought that
was so interesting. I think she was just trying to soften what she said.
She likes... Yeah, she likes to be a little bit self-deprecating too, to not come off as like a know-it-all or whatever. So, but she probably really feels that way. I mean, am I taking sound marriage advice from someone who has like 5 failed marriages?
Yes.
It depends on what they're saying. And it depends on
that real shit.
Right, it depends on what they're saying. If they're telling me their mistakes, I'm hearing that. If they're telling me, it depends on the person, right? Because if they're telling me what their partner did wrong and what to watch out for and they not shit and blah, 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 then I'm probably not listening. If they're telling me this is where I messed up, this is where I misstepped, this is where I could have done better, and they're reflective and they actually are seemingly like emotionally involved in that way where they thought about it, then I can hear that. But I can also, I watch people and I watch how they move, and I hope I learn from it, because it's a lot of motherfuckers failing.
I know.
All over the place. And that's just a part of life. I fail often. Fail forward. Fail forward. But yeah, I mean, I do not agree with that sentiment of, because who is actually really getting it right all the way, especially in relationships? I mean, if Esther Perel said she struggles with in her own relationship, I was like, if you do, then there's no hope for me. I'm over here making seafood feasts, dying.
Like,
who?
Out here, Miguel and his wife.
I don't know why you have them on such a high pedestal.
I just thought they were. I thought they looked happy. They knew each other for a long time, and they're pretty. So duh.
You see, that's that pretty privilege. And we reeled it in.
Like, of course they happy. Beyonce and
See,
Jay-Z. Beyonce and Jay-Z is a good example of failing ass forward ass people.
Failed Forward. Literally has a song called Forward on that Lemonade album. Don't start. I think someone else broke up recently and it made me sad.
Oh, please.
I don't know.
Who was it?
I don't remember. I saw it and was like, damn. I don't remember though at this time.
Well,
listen, we're doing the best we can. And Gabrielle Union is brave enough to unpack in front of all of us while we pick her words apart and judge. And listen, Dwayne fine as fuck, so I'd have forgiven him too. That's failing backwards. That's me. Going back to the dumb
free.
shit.
They be getting real free, but child, you don't see that other baby in the picture. That's one thing.
And maybe that child's mom doesn't want that baby in the picture and all on social media. That baby might be with them all the time.
Gabrielle's like,
Don't make those assumptions.
Now. Stop fucking playing with me.
I hope not. And I don't believe that would be the case because Dwayne Wayne. Look at me just thinking about that fictional character. I ain't never stopped.
Who's Dwayne Wayne?
What? You don't know
Dwayne
me.
Wayne. Okay. Yes.
For those of you that just started following Around the Way Curls, Dwayne Wayne and I have spent many nights
shut the hell
alone. Me and my vibrator, thinking of him.
How's he doing?
I love that man. He's really swollen.
Excuse me? What's his name?
He's swollen all over.
I don't like
he just
swollen
looks like
men. You like swollen men?
not swollen like husky. He looks like he had a permanent allergy attack. He's just swollen. I don't know why he's so swollen, but he's still so cute to me.
He might be.
And remember, Kadeem is not the person that I'm in love with. It's Dwayne. It is the character. Kadeem is probably Kadeem Harding.
Kadeem. Something about that name.
Kadeem.
Oh.
You feel it. I forget what I was saying at this time, but oh no, Dwayne Wayne is Dwayne Wade rather is really you see him. Anyway, Dwayne Wade is he's a family man. He's taken in his children's kids as well as his own.
His children's kids.
His sister's kids. It's late. It's 12 a.m. everyone. It's 12 a.m. and we're still fucking recording. But yeah, shout out to
our
growth. Okay, you've listened. Matter of fact, we haven't had this in a while. I think you need to no. Give us an around the way affirmation.
Shout out to our
Is this the affirmation?
Bringing us to where we are today. And shout out to where we are today, setting and laying up our future selves for a continued series of failure. Around the way affirmation. Keep fucking up out there, y'all.
As long as you fuck up forward, you good.
Fuck up forward. Fuck up forward.
That's going on a t-shirt. Fuck up forward.
Not fail
and then
forward.
It's gonna say shank. Unwell.
You fucking up, yo. You doing a good job, yo.
This episode is over. We are not well. Woo, child. All right, y'all. Well, do you have anything else to say, Queen?
There's just a couple assignments. Please make sure that you contact us. We will be posting about this on the day of the Outcast is out on Thursday, giving you an option to
Outcast is out?
Is that what I said? I was Andre.
I said. Play this flute. Oh, what that mouth do though? Yeah. Him and Big Boy were together this weekend.
They were together for the weekend?
They were at a football game.
You saw it on the Shade Room?
No, the Shade Room doesn't really post about outcasts because
Apparently,
they
Big
post
Boy.
about money bags. Yayos.
Anyway, how
Big
you know
Boy
that
what?
then? You saw it on OK Player or some
I saw it maybe on OK Player.
Kind of like for older people. Antoinette. Oh, make sure on Thursday when the podcast comes out, on the social media, we'll make an option for you to post the first traumatic slavery movie.
Are you giving me an assignment?
No, this is for the listeners.
Oh.
I want y'all to post. Let us know. You know when
you mean respond?
Yeah, respond to that. Let us know what you think.
Oh, like a question.
Yeah, just send it to the DMs too. What's the best movie for young children to see the horrors of slavery, so that she's gonna be shocked. She's gonna be shocked.
That's gonna fuck up her world. She has to sleep with you that night. She's gonna be sad.
She's gonna be like, oh, what? I don't know. JoJo's such a sweet baby. I don't know. She's ready.
She's not a baby anymore. Time to grow her up and ruin her life with the realities. That's terrible. Keep her sweet.
Also, everybody should watch Children of Men and get back to me. Yeah. All right, y'all. That's it. You have anything to say to anyone?
I have nothing to say. Absolutely nothing. I didn't write down when the affirmation came in, so I don't know where I'm putting the music in, but I'm going to figure it out.
That hair is sitting on that shoulder, girl.
You haven't said anything about it all episode, and I just was going to let it.
Like it's a little cat on your shoulder.
It looks like one, does it not?
Like
I'm not. I don't know how I.
You should get weave like that texture and make it longer.
I don't like that. Well, I don't like the long, bushy ponytail. I don't like it.
Shame.
I just don't. I don't like that. I actually don't like this like this.
What are you trying
when this is so straight? Because if I pull my hair back, it just automatically straightens.
I know. So what? That looks nice. It's like a wave, and then it's straight right there.
But I wish this was also up here. You see what I'm saying? Like I wish it was like. I wish this texture. This nice, fluffy, fuzzy texture was still up here and just pulled back like gently.
I saw you do the slick back. You didn't. I don't understand.
Because it doesn't. This episode's over. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And with that, we are out. It's because when I pull it back loosely, it looks stupid. It doesn't read. So then I don't want to straighten my hair. So I just been doing this. And what I really want to do.
I think you should.
You like this?
You can get that same texture. But
why do I need a weave? Why am I not enough?
Because of white women and white people. So what's the slavery movie we got to see to remind ourselves of the catastrophe and the perpetual self-hate that they have ignited in their terrible ways of treating us?
What I want to do is this. I just want to have this, but this will never stay. But I want it to be like here. Eventually it will be.
We'll get a little...
But I'm about to get braids again and my hair's about to fall out. Fuck. I make poor decisions. Failing backwards.
Yeah.
Because I know my hair's going to come out.
That's where you fucking up.
But I'm not going to not do it. Also, this nail and this nail popped off. But guess what? My shit is this long. So it didn't even... I wasn't even upset. I was like, wow. My nails... This is the length.
Growing. That's a miracle.
I'm so proud of them.
Girl, because you had little snubs. It was nubbing it. I saw that red dot at the corner and I was like, what is in my room?
What red dot?
The recording.
Oh, that up top?
I said, what is red being is in my room haunting me?
Shanti, can we talk in code real fast?
What?
I don't think he loves me.
Me either, girl. I don't think
Oh! No, you can't talk in code. Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
It's 12 o'clock. You got a job, girl. You got a real
I
job.
can't even believe that and I'm not done my work. And guess what? I'm not opening that computer. So today you would have been proud of me. Look, the shade room talking about the damn treasury. it's just fear mongering. Today, my boss, I had a one-on-one set up because she asked me to set it up. And she was like, girl, can you set up this one-on-one so that I can, blah, blah, blah. Actually, while we're doing this, can you send me your audio, please? So that I can, we needed to go over some work, some scope stuff. And she didn't make it. She just didn't show up to the call. And so then she goes, I'm so sorry. And she's like, oh, can you find time on my calendar? And I said, you're not available until 5:30. She's like, oh, okay, I can meet then. I said, but I can't. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh, okay, no problem. Tomorrow. I said, your calendar is booked from 8:30 to 5 again. Like, oh, is there any time maybe? I'm like, I'm not working past a certain hour anymore. It's dead.
Good for you.
You're not even listening to me because I hear you listening to something about Serena Williams. It's deeply painful. It's deeply hurtful.
No, internet. It's on the Miguel thing.
Are you looking up Miguel's saga?
I'm just so sad about that. Stop it.
They were together 17 years. That's a great run. Nothing lasts forever. I'm starting to realize you just have to love the people you love. Oh.
Antoinette, that's very good. And tell her don't do it again next time.
Who?
Your boss. And say, next time, please respect my time because that could have been spent sleeping or scrolling.
No, I can't say that. You went too far.
Eating.
I gotta finish these stories.
Girl, I'm making a roast chicken tomorrow, girl.
What kind of chicken?
Roast chicken.
I made the... No, but what kind of flavor? Like...
Oh, I don't know. I just put a salt, pepper, garlic powder. That's it. Juicy. Delicious. What you put on?
Can I offer you something, Queen?
No, I didn't ask for it.
Put some rosemary, up under the skin.
Yeah.
With the butter.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, listen. You listening? When you cut that bitch.
Yeah. Drizzle it on.
You're going to take like 4 lemons. Oh. Squeeze it all over there. And then you put the top back on there and just let it sit.
Do you like crispy skin on your roast chicken, or that's not like a value that you really go after?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not eating chicken with skin right now.
Wow. Antoinette,
I never have skin on my chicken. I also never have a whole chicken because I'm eating for one, and it'll go bad. So when I buy chicken, it's usually...
You don't put skin on your chicken, girl. That is the flavor part.
No, my chicken be flavored as shit because I got that Dutch oven, and so that
why?
Because there's so much more fat in it.
But fat's a good thing. We gotta do paleo.
It is a good thing, but
it's the sugars.
I just never. My parents. I'm a product of my parents. They never bought skin with. They never bought chicken with skin on it. Really, and if they did, they cut it off. I mean, sometimes, but very rarely. Because they ain't play that. And I'm still a chunky monkey. I don't get it. Just gotta eat all the fats.
Eat a bunch of fucking Flintstones at 1 o'clock in the
night. Because I was down there sneaking Dr. Peppers every fucking night. Dr. Pepper. Cases of it. And balling up the cinnamon raisin bread.
Yeah.
Balling like 3 pieces up into a ball, literally, and eating it.
Oh, baby Antoinette.
Eating my sorrows away.
Oh, baby Antoinette. If I found out Georgia was doing that, I would hug you. I'd be like, girl, what you doing? Get the hell out the goddamn kitchen. Go to greedy ass.
Look at my green tongue from that. First of all, I don't even think you saw it.
I was looking at it. Now I didn't want to talk about it.
No, the kombucha was in there. The kombucha was delicious, but then I tried to fuck it up and put some seltzer water in there with a little bit of kombucha that was left. Not delicious, but I'm gonna drink it because I need to drink some water. But I tasted it. It was like You were talking about something serious, and I was like, reel it in into that, cuz. That ain't it.
When you coming to Philly?
I'm gonna come Saturday.
What time?
I'm gonna meet you at your studio at
What
2. I don't want to I don't want to interfere on you and Amanda getting your work done.
Where are we gonna go?
I come a little early.
We're gonna go out to eat, get a drink.
Where you want to go? You trying to go to Grand Lux? You want some cheesesteak spring rolls? Where you want to go? Wherever you want to go, we going. You trying to get the meatballs again? Where you trying to go?
Oh.
Do you guys have a vaccination thing in Philly?
No.
Can you go in restaurants?
Yeah, Philly don't have.
Okay.
New York don't be doing that stuff anyway.
Yes, they do.
Oh, I went to so many restaurants in New York, and they were like,
it wasn't mandated yet. They had just announced that they were doing it. Now, you got to show your vaccination card and your ID to prove that it's your name on that fucking vaccination card.
Oh, no, that's right.
They're like, vaccination and ID. I'm like, here you go.
Well,
where you want to go? I really think we should go to Grand Lux, but we can go wherever.
Where is that? Like Cherry Hill?
Bitch, we got a whip. Like, where you gotta be? Where's JoJo gonna be, actually? With you?
I think she's with her dad.
Oh, well, we got the whole night. We're gonna go to Grand Lux. Then we're gonna go get drinks in the city. And then we might just dance. Might cut a rug.
Cut loose. Let me see.
We might. I might get you white girl wasted.
No.
It's Sunday the next day.
Why?
Oh, all right. Well,
when was the last time I was white girl wasted? Oh, it was that
with Clint.
With you.
It was with Clint. Oh no, actually, it was PVO. The last time you were white girl wasted in Philly was Clint. That was a debacle.
No, it wasn't.
That was.
Why are you listening to me? Annoying. Ugh. That is so annoying.
It's like very sad. No, for real, where do you want to go?
Oh no, I think about how I feel on Saturday.
I'm trying to say Grand Lux mad good, yo. Ew. What's that? Grand Lux, I don't know anything in Philly. Where's like a restaurant that you really like that you wanted to try?
Nowhere, girl.
All right, well, Grand Lux.
I haven't like enjoyed Philly eating out since I was serving.
Why? What about the Peruvian chicken? You like that?
Girl.
You told me.
Nah, but that ain't where you going. That's where you take it back to Amanda house and then we watch Children of Men and then you guys get mad at me because
Amanda was not gonna want to watch that. She's gonna be like, "Oh my god, y'all!" She's gonna be irritated. She's gonna be so mad.
But what is
She's gonna
this?
She's gonna be so. She is not trying to do that. There's got to be a place. No, I would love for us to
like be able to go sit outside if it's still warm and just have a drink too. We can go to Grand Lux. Sounds like you want to go to Grand Lux again.
We're gonna go to Grand Lux, but then we're gonna go somewhere else afterwards. It's not up to me. I just thought Grand Lux is funny because you've never been, and I was like, well, that's where the bad bitches go in their 20s. That's where the bare feet girls was getting taken. They was getting driven to Grand Lux across the bridge.
Bare feet.
The bare feet. And what was the other one? What was the other one?
Eternity Shoes.
No, it was where the men shop. Where the men bought their guessies. The women did too. City what was Blue. That place? City. All the bad bitches worked the City Blue. I used to want to be a City Blue girl so bad. I was like, wow. I was
like,
envious.
dumb.
They were like the original Video Girl.
Really?
Like before the Video Girl.
Yeah,
they were. Bad.
They were.
Mm-hmm.
They were like all like Puerto Rican though. I don't remember seeing a black girl like.
No, it was black girls in there. They was just light skinned bitches. I think my sister tried to work at City. So fitting.
It's such a dumb job. Like, I didn't respect that job. I was like, y'all ain't fucking doing nothing. Like, ain't y'all bored?
They was doing something.
I think I'm
Every time
still
somebody bought
jealous of
jeans,
the
they had to
city
get new
girl.
jeans. Yeah, I think you were a
I
little
think
bit.
I still what's up? How many sneakers do you have? How do you keep them so clean? What's up with your
Oh, my
jeans and your
sneakers are
t-shirts?
so dicked. I wore my white Air Force 97s and was like, look at the back of these shoes. It's because I rode my bike in them. And it just has like tire marks on the back of them. It's just childish.
Fucking up forward, girl.
That's fucking up backward. That's not forward.
Okay.
We can do that. We can. I'll try to figure it out. Go to Grand Lux, which is so funny to me. Are there any movies? I don't know if I want to go to a movie theater. No. Is there a drive-through in Philly?
No, I don't like drive-thrus.
Oh.
That's what I'm getting.
Okay. We could go to the Piazza and really be grown.
You don't know.
We could go to Grand Lux and be raggedy and then go to the Piazza and be grown.
It's so sweet that you think Piazza's a grown place to go.
It's not grown?
No.
Oh. What's grown? Old City? You want to go to Old City?
Oh, God.
She just fucking... She's FaceTiming me. I hate you.